Hello everyone, boys and girls wherever you're in Saudi Arabia, and this is Third Learn if you're in grade 11, following the Ministry of Education curriculum on English language. As you can see today, there is a better view for the page. It seems that the website has really improved the way of viewing it, responding to our communication. So let's see here with the word study. The lesson is pretty much composed of or displayed in three pages. And as you can notice that it will take us more than 5 minutes. So we'll take 5 minutes only to study the words here, and then 5 minutes for the working on exercises with another video. So let's start with the first word. It goes with deal with is the first one here. And as you can notice, there is a differentiation or kind of separation between two parts of the word as deal and with. This is pretty much to tell you, as in parentheses, how many syllables there are or how many parts there are in a word, which is very important for your pronunciation, for your understanding of the root of the word, because it does help you take your understanding of language into a higher level. The more you focus on the roots, the more you learn the language. So let's move on with this part. As in deal with, it's just two different parts, two different syllables, and you can notice that every syllable is short. It's no more than 4 letters usually, and if you want to hear it, it goes like deal. So it's actually 3 letters as you hear it, and it's written in 4 letters max or so. It's all about what you hear in a syllable than what you write. Now, the second part here explain about the word deal with. It's V as in a verb, and it says it stands for irregular, which means it does not follow a certain rule. And I'm sure you've studied that in grade 10 and grade 9 about verbs. There are 2 types of verbs. There is a regular verb and irregular verb. And what is irregular about? It's about how you use the past and a past participle tense of the verb. It doesn't have to do with it doesn't have to do with meaning of the word or the verb or the usage. It's only about regularity or irregularity with the past tense and past participle. It's all about tenses. Now it goes here as and after the colon we got dealt with and dealt with. Well, see, it's irregular because the form of the verb changes. We don't add ed. It's more of dealt with. Now, I'm going to use this kind of notepad here for kind of working out this with you, as in regular and irregular verbs. So you can see here, deal. We don't go, if it is regular, is dealed. No, actually, it's a big mistake. You go as in irregular form, it's dealt, and you still keep the with no matter what in all forms. Now, if we're going to go with the explanation of the meaning, it says here, if you deal with a problem, if you have a problem, and you don't just have a problem. So again, notice it doesn't say if you have a problem. It's actually if you deal with a problem. Now, in a slang language, someone would say if you have a problem, but if it's really a good language, it's an English language, it's actually if you deal with a problem, because you don't have problem usually, it's not part of your being, or having. Now, if you deal with a problem, you do something about it. You do something about it, which means you just act upon it or do something. What does that mean? It goes here. In order to find a solution. In order to find a solution. So why do you do something? In order to find a solution. There is kind of this relationship between the word problem and solution here. And then in between, you're actually you're dealing with. So there is the verb here in the 2 ideas, or they're connected together here, a problem and a solution. So if you want to use a verb in between these 2 words, you go deal with. For example, doctors deal with sick people. So there is the problem is in sick people, and then there is the doctors, which is the solution here. Um, but they're still dealing with it. Now, they treat them. How do they deal with them is kind of an explanation. It goes here, they treat them. See, so this is kind of how it works for the, the whole sentence. It's kind of a puzzle or a legal incrementation where you just take one legal kind of block and then you put it over the other and the other again and another one, and until you kind of use 100 parts or 100 incrementational lines to get a full view or a full building of Legos. So let's go with another sentence. Let's say here, let's deal with the new words before you write a paragraph. So there is dealing with words. You're dealing with words. So the problem here is new words, and then there is before you write a paragraph. Alright, it's more of actually the other way around. New words, and then this main problem is writing a paragraph, which means if you don't know how to do with new words, you really can't write a paragraph. So another sentence goes this book deals with teaching English. So the solution is actually the book, and what it does when it comes to dealing with, it's teaching English. Sorry for the spelling issues here. As you can see, it's just a notepad, kind of scratch or sketch, whatever. Now, let's move on with another word. It goes experiment. Experiment has 3 syllables, as you can notice here. Experiment. If you want to spell it again, would you pay attention? Experiment. Experiment. And as you can notice here, I don't say experiment. No, it's experiment. It's more of an A. It's not an E, as you can see here. Let me just try to explain it with a notepad again. Experiment. Now, normally if you want to put or just cut on a word into syllables, if there is an X, it's always alone. It just comes on its own. It's like there are these parts that are always repeated. There are roots, like see again in this word, like extremely. And then there is experience. Let's just not break this part now, because I want you to focus on kind of working with syllables. Experience, and then there is exit, and then there is execution. Oopsie. And then there is excursion, or there is explanation. So it all starts with an X, and then you can say this is the first syllable. And if you want to work with the other syllables, like for example, see here, there's experiment, you're going to use the last part as a syllable, like I don't really have anything in mind now, like let me think. Really nothing in mind. I'll just get back to it in a second. Let's just focus on the other part. Now, the meant usually is the last part of the word. It doesn't come like at the beginning. You don't say meant. If you go like with mentoring, you will say like meant is another syllable here at the beginning. And I'm not gonna tell you what kind of syllables here, like prefixes and suffixes, when it comes at the beginning, like experiment. Now, the first one, the X is what we call prefix, and then there is, see, then there is the middle parts, and then there is a suffix. So let's take these words as in those that come at the beginning or the prefix, and then those at the end are called suffixes. And this is not the point of the word study here, but it's just something you really need to focus on every time we're going to study a new word. Now, this kind of verb is actually regular, which means you can go with a past tense of experimented, and past participle is experimented too. I'm not so sure how practical this usage of this word, because usually it's used in scientific texts and explanation of some kind of chemical processing or some kind of physical processes. So this is what it's all about in using the word experiment. The meaning here is explained as to try or to test something to see what happens. So you're actually trying to see what happens. So the sentence goes, they experimented for many years to find safety medicine. So they're trying something in order to get to resolution, which is again solution. And then there is the problem. But this time we're not using experimented, we're not using dealt with, we're actually using experiment. But there is also this solution again. You see here what happens, safety medicine. Oopsie, I got a spelling point here. Medicine. I don't think safety medicine is the right word to use here. I can say it's a safe medication in today's language, but this is what it's meant by. Now, a third word goes as extremely. Extremely is not a verb. It's actually an adverb. And usually, you know that there is a subject in every sentence, there is a verb, there is an object, and then there is an adverb, there is an adjective. As the verb here is what we've just tried deal with, and then you go as an adverb as an extremely. See? It's an adverb. Now, if you want to break it into syllables again, it goes with X, just like experiment, and then trim, and then the ly. Whenever you find an ly, you need to know that this is an adverb. Most of the time, like 99%. It's just there are other times when there is an ly ending when it's an adjective, not an adverb, or maybe some other kind of part of the sentence, which we're going to talk about later on. Anyway, so it means very. Now, I am extremely happy to be here. I am very happy to be here. It's extremely nice of you to help me. It is very nice of you to help me. There is no relationship as in problem solution here. It's just more of an explanation of how you feel, what's happening, how does it make you think like at the very moment. It's not forever description, it's just a momentous description in this minute. Now make a sentence about the man in the picture. Use the word extremely about him. Well, he's extremely old or extremely incapable of just getting somewhere. Now, not to get too long with the video, let's say in addition is as you can say, it's a phrase. So phrase is not, if I want to go with a definition, it's not a full sentence, and so you don't really focus on full subject verb availability with it. An adjective is a long-term description. Let me just remind you with the meanings of each if you want to keep them down. An adverb is just momentous. It's for the moment. Description. And an object is something you describe. A verb is how you describe it, and then there is a subject. It's a subject that you use. Um, Now, in addition is a kind of a phrase which is not a full sentence, and as you can see, it has like four syllables actually. In addition. Now, let me just remind you again of the common syllables here. Uh, well, we have X, and then there is the shun at the end, and then there is the ment, and then there is the ly. Now, I'll go with more on these, but I want you to take notes. The reason why I'm not really going to give you any kind of printed out tips is that you don't really depend on it. If you just follow on with the video and just write down on a notepad like I'm doing here and keep your own notes, and maybe you can just use any kind of note application on your mobile, your tablet, your computer. It's just going to help you more if you just type it down. Don't depend on my notes. I'm not going to give you any notes. I'm a mean teacher. Anyway, so let's move on. The meaning goes as an also, usually used to begin sentences, so you don't use in addition at the end of the sentence. It goes, firemen put out fires. In addition, now you can notice here there's a full stop and then there is a start of a new sentence, in addition, and then there is a comma. Do not use in addition without a comma. In addition loves commas, so just say to yourself, in addition is a friend of a comma is a friend of an addition. I hope that sticks in your mind. They rescue people who are trapped in car accidents. So it goes like, they put out fires. Also, they rescue people. Now, if you're going to use also, we're not going to focus on using a comma with it or not. But you don't really have to use it at the beginning of the sentence. It's only in addition is what you need to use as a sentence. And if someone could say, well, okay, if there is also, why do I need an addition? Well, duh, you're not going to repeat the same word in your paragraph writing or whatever academic writing you're going to use in university or even in the test, and you're going to be getting a credit for it. A second sentence goes, firemen rescue people trapped in cars. In addition, they help if chemicals are spilled. So that's another example. Complete the sentence below. That's a very simple question. Goes, a fireman must be at least 17 years old. And since we have a word here, goes like, in addition, he must have an elementary school certificate. Please, dear Ministry of Education, give us some improvement on this kind of book. I don't know if it's still used or not, because you can't really give us a way to use the same word in an explanation of the word. There's no distraction and more of a stupid direct application to the word. Now, the video has taken too long. I'm going to meet you in another one, in another row of explanation on words. So, bye.